Okay people, here we go today. I am gonna be doing something kinda different, and giving my views in real time to the Sea of Thieves developers, like developer talk show thingy. Okay, audio should work. Right, let's see what they have to say about the fucking wild current state of SOT.
Hello and welcome to the Sea of Thieves Community Direct. I'm John McFarlane, Head of Creator Engagement, and today I'm going to guide you through a treasure trove of discussion. Joining me, we have Head of Community and Comms, Christina
His
McFairhall,
haircut sucks.
Associate Design Director, Shelley Preston, Studio Creative Director, Mike Chapman, and Production Director, Drew Stevens. Today we're going to talk about Season
Andrew, our company fall guy anytime, we are too scared to fess up to fuck ups.
20 and how we're evolving our seasonal model. We're going to expand on our renewed focus on game health and discuss changes coming to our cosmetic.
So they say seasons despite literally scalping most major features for season 19. Let's just be clear here. So when they say seasons, I think we are more in the realm of title updates. Just we don't wanna let go of the name, just let cause of the battle pass.
Strategy. And we're going to dig deep into custom Cs and how it unlocks a new era of community creativity. But before all that,
Just saying this custom C's thing they showed off like a couple years ago, and it's been a function, for insiders, for even longer than that. The fact they haven't just let you spend premium currency to get one of these already boggles my mind.
Let's do some reflecting. We've covered some of these.
Oh, and just gotta say the dev studio desk in the back there is tiny. I
topics
thought
in the
it
last
was like a full room, but apparently not.
Podcast that we did. But let's talk about some of the things that we've learned from the past seasons and
Okay, if he says there are many lessons to be learned and we didn't quite hit the mark, I will eat my hat. Cause they have said that line a lot, frankly.
what some of those challenges were. Mike?
Yes, as we mentioned on the podcast, the approach with 17, 18, and 19 has been to optimize our plan for regularity. So every month, there's something for players to come back and experience, new goals to go and attain. But I think the reality of that is these smaller, more piecemeal updates, the pressure that puts on us as a team, it means that our original aspirations for a feature has had to get scaled back. And now we see that response in the community. We've heard it through.
Okay, cutting past the bullshit for a moment, they haven't had to scale shit back for any other reason than they have had to scale the company back. So the fact they haven't just come out and admitted that despite it being publicly accessible info is a little dishonest. Just admit you have less devs and thus can't do the size of updates you could when you had a full-scale office. People get small team equals less content, just make it good so many other devs do that just fine.
the Big Listen survey, the reality of releasing content on that rhythm has been really challenging internally. And that means that, like, honestly, all of us on the team, it's really challenging to know that you're not able to put your best work out there because our initial ambition has to be scaled back. And I think we're
Xbox is pulling the plug or something, huh?
not feeling good about what we've released. Our players are telling us they're not feeling good about what we've released. So I think that's really been the main challenge.
Cause it's all-time limited shit that anyone with real-world commitments can't do. Cause, let's be honest, you get away with a very active community of teens during lockdowns, and now are unable to grasp your community is like 80% casuals and only peaks in the NA evenings and weekends. When your cheaters are at their worst, may I add.
Is just not having the time to do the ideas and the updates justice.
So one of the things that we announced in the last Community Direct was that we were lifting the NDA for insiders. So how's that affected the game development stuff?
Lifting the N. Lifting the NDA was a good move, just it required the devs to accept they are wrong sometimes, something they still sadly haven't come to terms with. They don't revert bad changes or anything test servers are meant to allow for. Meaning this just opened the floodgates for players to see the devs they are really dealing with and who we were all getting tired of their lack of listening. Complaints of the community now are the complaints of insiders. Even 5 or 6 years ago, shit hasn't changed.
So for us, it's been fantastic, actually. After the last Community Direct, we lifted the NDA pretty quickly, and that has really changed the shape and nature and kind of like volume of feedback for the better. The standout
Yeah, you get a wider range of people complaining at you, yet you still barely ever back down from your ideas that we tell you don't translate well in a gameplay setting.
if I think about recent weeks and months, is the last ship standing technical test. There were thousands of people watching it on Twitch when we were testing.
Arena coming back in a soft reboot. But like fools, they instead of making it a permanent option for those players who like the madness of it, you make it temporary, with the promise to bring it back if and when you please, making players less inclined to try it as they see it as just a temporary mix-up.
On the Friday night, and it felt like we had so much more telemetry, data, insight, feedback than we'd ever had before. And obviously, Shelley, that kind of extends
That I'll give them, though, that may also be in part cause they made Hourglass arenas shrink, making more PvP crews inclined to hop on for quick matches.
past just like last ship standing, right?
Yeah, obviously everything that's going through Insiders now, but things like the new Build Rat Weekend, a live event that we're
Shit. Get rid.
developing, and some of the deeper Hourglass improvement changes as well. Having more people be able to see and talk about those with the NDA lifted in Insiders has been really valuable in shaping the development of them.
I think as well, just from a game health perspective, if we step back from features, we're getting so many more eyes on the build. Every single Insiders build goes through every couple of weeks. We're getting a better understanding of where the state of the game is at any one point. So as we're approaching releases now, we're seeing bugs coming in from Insiders at a much more, louder level, and we're able to
Like I said, more people telling you the same shit we have been saying for years.
Make sure that we're applying resource and teams towards the right areas. So I think
By teams, they just stick people on a thing they don't really have dedicated, like separated departments like they used to, and it shows. Like say a big needs fixing, you are on fixing bug insert here. And then once thing is done you go join another team. It's just all basically like a tasking thing rather than a dedicated team like they used to have for seasons and title updates, where one team works on an update coming in 3 months, another on one 6 months ahead, and the other for a December update. It's how they accidentally leaked fire early, cause the guy from the fire update team was on a gameplay crew not knowing his update wasn't gonna be out for another 3 months yet.
it's also helped signal like areas where we need to be improving. Before, we were clearly getting signals, but it was hard to find them. But whereas this amplifies it, we see it much louder. So I think we're seeing like feature improvements, but we're also seeing game health stuff coming through.
Fuck
This
signals,
change to the
take
NDA.
feedback and fix
especially
game.
after insider tests now, seeing that dialogue happening on social media, ongoing, just seeing that a little bit of pulse check.
Bro, this is what happens when you list an NDA. People talk about upcoming updates. This isn't specific to hype or anything. People always want to know what's next.
check on the state of features, just in that organic conversation, has been really good.
And just continuing with like some of the things that have gone really well, we've had things like the Festival of Giving and the community weekends. How did they go, Christina?
Festival
Community weekends are when players just play cause EXP is actually good, not really for the community aspect unless you are a social media personality or streamer farming good clips. Other than that, it's pirate dads posting clips of meeting people with their kids.
of Giving was amazing. We had new tech, which is where you emote, you give something, and it was amazing to see how far those cosmetics.
Bro, did they not know we could right-click to hold out items for the past like 8 years?
Travelled and how much fun people were having with them. We've had a couple of community weekends which have gone really well. We've had loads and loads of players pile in and share really amazing stories from those weekends. And then we're doing things at the minute. We're fundraising for Game Blast. We, I think, are right now, at time of recording, we've just raised over £80,000 for the folks at Special Effect, which is amazing. So community good vibes, they're really high. And while we're not perfect, we are making those changes to how we kind of approach development of the game. It does.
Just gonna say the charity cosmetics are some of the only good selling cosmetics. But part of that I think is down to SOT players being generally nice people, and they get a cosmetic to show for it. However, they pulled some shitty stuff in the Emporium, which we will get into later, I hope.
I really hope that our players are starting to feel that we are making meaningful changes in terms of how we're developing Sea of Thieves.
So I just want to pick up on something that you were talking about there. You're saying we're listening to the feedback, and
If they
we
don't
have lots
address
of
it,
of
I
stuff
will.
going on in the game health side of the game. What's going on there, Drew?
Yeah, I think it's the game health stuff flies under the radar a little bit. It's not the biggest flash
Okay, I don't know if by game health they just mean servers. But for those of you who don't know, something they should be addressing in this is that the servers allow for many exploits, even to the extent that Burnt Peanut, a large streamer, tried playing this game and giving it some life with his audience only to get his server crashed by server crasher tools and exploits that allow cheaters to find your exact server and see who's on a server. All these things have been in the game for years, by the way, too. Oh, and not to mention, when many women on this game were targeted using these tools, the devs' just response was, "Don't be absurd." And that was like a couple years ago now.
Set of changes, and sometimes they're not going to make trailers, but we've made some massive changes since the last community direct in July. Like, we were sitting in a game now with increased field of view, we've got
So
improved
game
weapon
security
switching,
and
there's
health
improvements
hasn't improved.
to cross-region matchmaking in Hourglass. There's a range of improvements where we've just gone down to the core experience and said, there's something here that we need to go and improve. And in the past, we've kind of talked openly that we haven't had space and time to go back to old experiences and to bring them up to shipshape. But there's some great experiences there where I've kind of just talked about those features where we've gone back. And that's just on the features side of things. There's also long-standing bug fixes that over the last 6 months we've addressed, like water desync on console is no longer a thing, for example. So I think we've slowly but surely working through these game health issues. And yeah, I wish they did get some more airtime, but I think I even, in preparation for this, looked back through the last set of patch notes, and you can kind of see real clear game health improvements, whether it's features or whether it's key bug fixes. And that was a real commitment from us last time to say, hey, this is a renewed investment in game health. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about that.
And on that point, there's fixes to the core experience as well as part of game health. So we've got our first set of improvements to just general population of how often it feels like you're coming across those other players and having those encounters. We've got a set of changes coming out there. We're going to be rolling out more changes and assessing it live over time. But we're really hoping that that feel of the seas feeling more alive is something that people can meaningfully see and feel by the time they see this video.
Coming across other players in the shared world is the
Oh boy, here we go. Anyways, the range of much needed bug fixes is appreciated. Better late than never, and granted some are cause of the server side, So I'll let them off on many of those. If they got them fixed now, and are trying to make servers more alive, that's a good thing.
Heart of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I mean, separate to any pieces of content, the heart of the game is you and your crew interacting with other people out there in the world. And it's been illuminating to see where we've had this issue. And the tweaks that we made so far seem to be having a huge improvement to people's encounters on the wave. So really good stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've made some changes under the hood that we've not told people about to see kind of what the response is from a kind of
Is she just gonna drop some shit players are gonna hate?
telemetry in a kind of community perspective. And we turned things on. We made a couple of changes, and within probably a day or two, a few partners messaged us being like, what have you done? So I think if you think about how meaningful that might feel, especially to those people who are playing a lot, to see that frequency of encounter just shoot up, I'm really excited about the changes we have to come. It's a really, really cool part of
Hasn't really been on much, but servers have still felt super empty when I've been on, but that may be cause I generally have been playing mostly Hourglass, and don't see people often outside of the matches.
the game experience, and we've got some changes coming that hopefully means you bump into more people more often.
So, Christina, we had the big lesson out there, and obviously we take those results, and a bunch of them are around game health that we saw back in there, but some of that was around like toxicity, right?
Yeah, no, that's right.
Define toxicity. Frankly, this definition, I'll let them explain, but this is one of the sticking issues of the devs being most off the mark in the past. Actually, no, not the devs, the community team.
And so one of the first big listens we did, that was the real surprise to a lot of us, is how kind of game
Their
health,
fault
the perception
only.
of game health is kind of twofold, right? It's kind of technical experience, but then it's also kind of your experience with the other players. And it was really surprising to us how much that impacted people's perceptions of game health. So off the back of that, we did an additional toxicity survey where we surveyed people on kind of what they perceive to be toxic. We listed loads of things, some of which we thought were toxic, some of them we are kind of legitimate gameplay experiences, but we wanted to see what people thought of them. And we've gone away, and off the back of that, we formed kind of an internal toxicity strike force, for want of a better phrase, where
Fuck that, get rid. I'll tell you now, you are gonna fuck it up again by being too thin-skinned and end up with double the number of cheaters. So fuck no. Just really, if you wanna fix toxicity, have a ghost strikes system behind the scenes where if you are seen as a more toxic player, you get put in servers with other players who trash talk as much as you or camp or whatever, and put all the pirate dads and weak-willed people in another safe space, see, where they can call each other slurs when they get sunk and get send in with the toxic players like the rest of us. That's how you fix it. If you say nothing, or don't piss anyone off, you stay in tame seas. If you are a shitload foul-mouthed pirate, you go in with people like you. Simple, everyone gets what they want and reports dry up as people find their level.
We're kind of taking a really holistic, multidisciplinary approach to trying to make the game a better experience for everyone involved.
This shit ain't hard.
Lots of things to dig into there, and hopefully lots of things to share over future podcasts and community directs and developer updates, etc. But I think one of the key things is we have a set of behaviours where we kind of acknowledge there is kind of a toxic vibe to that encounter. And there's other stuff like chasing another ship or dumping loot off the side of the board, which I think we would probably traditionally class as legitimate gameplay, where the perception is that's toxic. So we've got a lot of work to do, whether it be kind of educational and kind of providing clarity and or making significant changes to the game. But so much value has come from those surveys, and we're kind of all really invigorated and energized to go dig in and make some changes there.
We've covered game health and we talked about toxicity, but I guess the survey also covers like another wide range of topics. Is there anything else we want to dive in on here today?
Yeah, so not just the survey, but community feedback from quite a period of time actually is the perceived kind of cosmetics imbalance. So the kind of broad perception is that we are underserving our gold stores or our outpost stores.
Money, 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 yummy, give me more for our fortnight. See cosmetics, yum, yum, yum.
And kind of indexing too hard on Pirate Emporium, but that's about to change, isn't it?
Yeah, we want shit to earn, but shit that stays. So the cosmetics show what you have done in the game, not just I was there or I paid money.
Drew?
Yeah, I think we'll share some plans a little bit later on specifics, but I think it's very clear that for a long period of time, we've been underserving in the outpost stores, and I think that is about to change.
Yes, and I think just mainly just to acknowledge the fact that we've seen that feedback in the community for quite a while now. And I think it's a delicate balance, to be absolutely clear what the role of the Pirate Emporium is.
money self-sustaining revenue, so you aren't dependent on Xbox, which from most reports you failed at.
We're here all of these years later because of the sales of the game, and what we sell in the Emporium goes towards funding the ongoing development of the game. And that's an important part of achieving the dreams of our community and our dreams as the creators of the game. But there has been that imbalance, and that's something we're going to need to address. We need to look at it very carefully. But what goes into the Gold Store versus what goes into the Emporium is something we want to address, and we'll share more details in the future, as Drew mentioned.
On that point, I think what the kind of the recent doubloon reset has taught us is that players are really
Players don't like resets. It's a common complaint in online games. Players want the sense of not losing shit unless they agreed to it when they joined. This is why you got a kickoff also to do in favor of stat boosting updates that only just give you more playtime stats to show Xbox, rather than actual players' enjoyment. Felt like a slap in the face for many, and rightly so, even if you didn't care about the doubloons themselves. Better way to do it is make good game players spend more time on game they enjoy, add more weekly or daily chores, and it feels like a job. No one will stay after they finished.
Attached to their currency. There's a lot of folks who have speculated, they've come for our doubloons, are they going to come for our gold next? And Mike, are we going to come for their gold next?
We categorically are not. Gold is the driver of that core loop. Go out into a session, do the voyages, explore, you earn gold as part of that session. That is a reflection of a multi-year journey for many of our players. We look at doubloons differently. It is a secondary currency. It is this little micro economy where we're able to take the swing that
Really, doubloons should have never changed from the event challenge completion reward. They used to be Reaper chests, just ruined that balance.
we have and reset for a better future, but we have no plans to ever do that with the gold economy, just to confirm.
We have just touched on the Emporium there, but that's not the only thing that's changing to the Emporium, right?
Yeah, there's quite a few changes coming to the Emporium.
So I don't mind them bringing it back to the year
Emporium
one
in
model.
2019, and we've been delivering updates monthly since then. And I think we've got to a point where there's almost 70 individual pages within the Emporium of cosmetics available. And unsurprisingly, our players have told us that it's a terrible experience.
They told you it's desperate and money hungry, on top of many other bad changes to be more accurate.
To try and browse. And we've got awesome cosmetics within the Emporium that
Wrong. Most players also outlined the bad cosmetics, not feeling pirate or on theme for why this move also felt desperate. Even look it up on social media. These are all well-documented complaints. They should stop lying to themselves.
Sitting way back chronologically in the back pages that we kind of want to surface up.
Oh, and players also in vast numbers just pointed out the absurdity of trying to rotate them in and out and not just adding this really high-tech never-before-seen thing in a microtransactions store we shall name a search bar. This drastically new invention allows players to type letters into the aptly named search bar and the item they want pops up. Almost like if you could search for the items you want. I know, revolutionary concept.
And show new players that are starting their experience. So as part of future Pirate Emporium updates, we're actually going to be looking
New players could just ask what's that set called, I want it, then you type its name in a bar. Even on console you can do that, even if it's a little slower.
back through our back catalogue, and we're going to be streamlining the experience. So there's going to be a reduced set of cosmetic sets on
Money, 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 give us more. We want new players to have fake FOMO. Star Citizen pull this shit on their store, but fuck me, I'd never thought SOT would go to that shit.
offer in the Pirate Emporium, but that does mean that it gives us the ability to rotate
Oh, and at least on Star Citizen, I get a fucking ship to play with. All you get from this is skins you use for like 10 minutes, then get bored of.
8 sets over time. Our goal here is to really bring some awesome cosmetics that are kind of sitting in the back.
Remove all non-pirate cosmetics, if I am being really blunt.
Clog and bring them up front and center so that players can have access to them. So that's a change that's going to be coming to the Pirate Emporium very soon. That's not the only changes we're going to be making in the
That would
cosmetics and
remove the
Pirate
clutter.
Emporium side. There's also some changes we're going to be making to the season pass model if you want to dig into that.
Oh boy, now I wanna see what they got planned.
Yeah, so our next iteration of the Season Pass will be going live in Season 20, and we've worked really hard to try and evolve our Season Pass into a much more rewarding and clear experience. So not only are we overhauling the UI so that you will kind of move through these tiers of unlocks as you go through, but also the way that you relate to earning renown. We're trying to really simplify that and make that feel a lot more meaningful for players, so it's much clearer what you do to move through the Season Pass. In terms of the actual rewards that you unlock as well, we're introducing a new set of not only playable rewards in the form of limited voyages that you can earn, but some of those previously locked in the Emporium items are going to be items that players can choose each time you get to one of those tiers of unlock as part of progressing through for free in the Season Pass.
Okay, now for a moment there I hoped they would add a season pass, where we earn like tokens, then can pick and choose items we want instead of just leveling up, and just being given cosmetics we never asked for, but just have. Same as how Helldivers does its season passes, that way you keep all the cosmetics on show, but you can pick and choose what you want to spend your time rewards on. So say if I want a cosmetic that say costs 20 season currency, I could choose to use it. Only on ships if I wanted, not just get given some goofy like banana outfit, or whatever to get there.
And we've got the star prize.
I mean that way they could rename them to something fancy and just release them whenever get some hype, and players would naturally grind for hours on end after taking breaks to catch up, like with Helldivers. Frankly, if they were moving away from a super regular update structure, that would be the play. Focus on quality updates. The end cosmetic passes come whenever, so you can slap like 4 out a season if you really wanted. I mean that model I think would work. You just have waves of returning players rotate in and out. That way you have high play time, but the players making up that time total changes every so often. It also would mean the title updates can do the heavy lifting to being the players back, then the passes could serve to keep them around once they do.
And of course, at the very end of all of that, there is the Star Prize, which is our new super high quality, super special item that we can't wait to be able to share with people.
I think it's been good to reflect on the season pass and the quality of rewards that we're giving to players. I think the approach here has been to have less filler, I would say, in the season pass, and make sure that all of the rewards are going to be seen as desirable by our players. You know, as you mentioned, from having the Star Prize there as that ultimate end prize at the end of the track, to having the playable rewards, to having
More pirate shit, it's that simple.
the Emporium returning cosmetics, I think overall should feel like a much more compelling offering to players each season.
And I will say, I have seen the Star Prize in our art reviews, and I remember seeing it and thinking, oh my goodness, I've not seen anything like that as a cosmetic reward in Sea of Thieves before. So I think players will be really excited for it, especially if we can show it right now.
So right now we are kind of in the middle of season.
Bro, what you only now realized, you can
Players will
make
be really
animated cosmetics. I swear these fuckers got zero memory. They literally did this shit almost exactly. With a ship figure head, it's literally a hand that grabs and stuff.
So right now we are kind of in the middle of season 19 and we're due for
I mean, sure, it's a cool cosmetic, just it's not as groundbreaking as they made out, and frankly, that makes us think you ain't really having new and spicy ideas for the game anymore, like some intern came in, and that was their developer skills test before being placed on a team for real. Like, I swear the new stuff feels kinda different, but it's very much in the scope of what he already know, almost like it's homework.
Some exciting stuff with the Build Drop Weekender and Last Ship Standing coming up. But we're in this 3-act structure at the moment, but there's changes coming there, right?
There are. So, as I mentioned at the start, as a reflection of the challenges that we've talked about here today and on the podcast, I think the plan that we had around optimizing for the regularity of releases for players, so every month there's always something new to put the focus on. We see that less of the headline features of the season now and more about building a compelling live service calendar. So a big part of this is the Bills Rack Weekender that our players already know about, but also Last Ship Standing, which has been in insider testing and had some great feedback. Do you want to talk a bit more about Last Ship Standing?
Yeah, so Last Ship Standing is our 6-ship hourglass battle. Players can vote on that and then emerge in the Sea of the Damned in a special map and basically battle to be the last ship standing. But unlike our classic 1v1 mode, players get rewards based on how they placed within that. So it's not quite so all or nothing.
So basically arena all over again. Arena used to give you gold based off of where you placed.
Even coming second or third can still be netting you more allegiance and more rewards for your hourglass. And that it will be available for a month as part of Act 3, but then afterwards it's going to be coming back regularly for a shorter window, but on a monthly basis as well.
Hey,
And also coming back on a regular basis is the Bills Rack Weekender. So
fuck the weekender. This is literally time-limited shite that most players won't do, cause hey, will see it as not in their weekly time frame. It needs to be just a thing that rotates in function, but never goes away.
we've had lots of feedback over the years around the various live events that we've run. And there's always been that, I think we've felt it, but always that sense of tension in the community around, like, is this ever going to come back? Is it time limited? So we've always wanted this vehicle to bring popular
better
live events
still,
back.
don't
So
make it
that's
a
where the
thing.
Bills Rack Weekender has come from. It's this once a month in-world pirate festival that celebrates a live event that returns as a showcase alongside some specific activities to earn the doubloon currency. As part of the Weekender, we've been looking at the feedback we've been getting in the insider forums, and we've just been putting some time and effort into positioning all the elements just right for that first launch. So a key part of it is Duke, as we've mentioned, and Arina's stock.
Not gonna lie, Lorena sucks. Bring back my boy Duke. You had the bilge rats getting into some grey areas of if they were good or not, and then you replaced Duke and left him out of the game.
So around Duke's availability, we're going to be keeping Duke around for the month now. And in terms of Duke stock, while we originally planned to rotate it each month,
Okay, let's be real. If he's meant to be like a counter to Lorena now, then why not put him on an outpost and make him directly try kicking off an internal conflict with the bilge rats and see who the players pick to lead them, and the loser gets fed to mermaids or whatever.
we're going to be keeping that stock around for longer to just relax that feeling of pressure to come in and earn those rewards. So Duke will be around for a lot longer, and we'll continue to look
Or better still, make us have many different bilge rats in the seas on outposts, like with Hunter's Call and others, so we can buy stuff from specific bilge rats, and maybe some ignore you at set times in the day, or whatever, to give them some personality.
at insider feedback. We'll continue to look how the first one lands, and we'll continue to iterate it. The Bills Rat Weekender is very much our platform for bringing back some of our most popular live events. So it's going to be just interesting to see how that plays out in the community following release.
So some awesome stuff coming to season 19. We've talked about some of the changes
Bro, you removed the fucking Kraken, boss. That was your awesome stuff. Literally, the Kraken is what you launched SOT with. How are you gonna justify season 19 as anywhere near decent now?
that are coming to seasons all up. What's coming for season 20?
So season 20. So last time we sat on this sofa, we talked about a very exciting feature set, which was custom seas. We talked about a great experience, giving players the tools to the pirate sandbox. And we talked about that as an experience. And I think we even eardropped
Basically, custom Cs are a Sea of Thieves private server you pay for, and can host events with your friends on unless you have a community for SOT, or you are a streamer. This feature don't really mean much for you.
As an early 2026 target for ourselves. But we also talked about custom Cs being a premium feature that was going to be part of our first pirate subscription, so a paid for premium subscription. As we've stepped through the development process, I think we've started to see the magic of custom Cs come to life. And at this point, we'll have had at least one of our first looks in Insiders. I think we've seen
Yes, content creators want custom Cs for special community events. This is something many have been asking for years.
internally the excitement and the magic build from just giving players and our creators tools to be able to create experiences for themselves. And we kind of took a step back and took the opportunity to go, are we giving custom Cs the opportunity to reach its full potential? And I think we answered the question no. I think by introducing it in the way that we'd originally planned as part of a premium feature set behind a subscription, I don't think we were giving custom Cs the opportunity to engage and create a tool set for all of our players. So as part of season 20, we're going to be bringing custom Cs to all of our players free of charge. So it's no longer going to be behind
Surprisingly
a
mature
subscription.
take.
It's going to be available to everyone. And we can't wait to bring such a rich tool set to everybody and see the magic that players are going to create as part of it.
So custom Cs is now going to be free for all players, which is awesome. How does it feel to then be bringing that to such a wider variety of players?
It's incredibly exciting. And the way we're testing it in Insiders at the minute is kind of piecemeal, where they get a glimpse of a feature and a glimpse of a feature here. But even with the first version or the first set of features,
Wait, okay, so if every player has their own server, the one key concern I have is that this likely will all be hosted on one box with many servers, so all cheaters would need to do to grief a streamer's event would be find a server on the same box and lag. That and it crashes the others, which even from my Minecraft days I know was possible. Also, we know they got server crashes and ways to easily find what server streamer is connected to. I don't think it would be that much of a stretch for them to direct connect to a server on the same box, as far as I am aware the port may be the only different part of the IP. In other words, Rare needs to lock thing behind some playtime gate, or have countermeasures to server crashing, or better still give streamers and big community events their own server box to host off, so like streamers get one box, the plebs get another. And we all got a share. Cause like I said, assuming they aren't assigning one player one whole server box to themselves, this shit gonna be a thing.
So many of the team were just watching people over the weekend have a whale of a time, sometimes in languages they didn't understand, because they're having so much fun with it. I watched so many clips of people just be like, I can spawn a thing here. So
like we want
I watched a ship
basic and
battle where
premium
someone
at
had kind of
least.
like zoomed up on and kind of watched it happen from the sky. The amount of creative
Also, they need to ensure DDoS and crash protection is hard-baked in these things, and any player using these to abuse other players' events gets perma-banned.
possibilities that this gives folks is just, I genuinely feel like it's quite endless. Even with such a small version going in Insiders, the amount of different types of content we've seen has just been incredible to see. And I think the team are so energized by seeing that in hands, right?
I think that's the bit. It's so exciting because we're creating a set of tools, but it's not about what those tools are. It's about what players are going to do with them. And some of that we have no idea. And that's what I'm the most excited for. Things are going to come out of that, game modes, ways people play that we've never imagined. And it's really exciting.
Yeah, the reception was fantastic. And
Yeah.
to Christina's point, even a small subset of the ultimate functionality, but seeing people being able to spawn things on the fly, create these moments. And there's a cinematic camera as well, which players haven't seen yet, the ability to take these cool screenshots and create these cool videos. I think we're going to see a huge range of experiences unlocking custom Cs, from beginning to form the foundations of game modes, creating these cool party modes with your friends, and just, if it remembers machinima, like creating stories in the engine of a game. Like, it really feels like
Shame we don't have a cinematic camera replay function in-game. Like I know it would be quite taxing, but would be fun to replay your Hourglass matches.
Like, Sea of Thieves is this toy box, and we're handing that over to our players and allowing them more control than ever before. So I think the potential to show off some of the best moments of Sea of Thieves and see the originality and the ingenuity of our community come to life through custom seas is something we're just so excited about. And
Only other thing is I really hope these run better than the main game cores, if you get way more players in the same place all fighting, or whatever it needs to not become a lag ball.
goes back to that point of we're so impressed by what we've seen so far, and we don't want to limit that. We want to put that in the hands of all of our players.
And even though there's going to be plenty of tools there, and like you said, even with a few tools not
Oh, and let players manually reboot the servers if needed in case we do get extreme lag.
even the full package that will be there at launch. Players are still doing cool things already. But even with that launch toolset, we're going to be adding more to it over time. We're going to be looking at the things that players want, or the kinds of things that they want to build but they can't build, and iterating and growing it over time as well.
I think that's our commitment as part of Season 20, is that we're going to be in listen mode. We're going to release this awesome toolset.
Fuck me dude, stop saying you will listen. You have been saying that for actually years. We need to just see it. It's the only thing that will shut players up calling the game screwed, or dead, or on its way to a watery grave. Stop saying you will fix it, just do thing. Make players have faith in your ability to turn words into action, and complaints go quiet. Like even given the lack of thinking out the box, I am fairly certain SOT is literally gonna be shut down within the coming months, or maybe early next year, and trust me, I want to see something that looks like they haven't just given up and are running the managed death of the game resigned to fail. I mean, I want them to show some will to fight off their impending doom, but I ain't seeing how they pull that off right now, frankly.
But we know it's a starting point, and we're going to be listening and watching and laughing alongside our players. But our commitment is that this is a tool set that we continue to grow and evolve over time.
And it's the perfect example of a feature set where listening to the community and responding to their needs is absolutely critical, because we know our community will do things with that feature set that we can't expect. So, and I think, to your point, making that commitment up front that this is an ongoing track of work, we're going to expand this over time based on the needs of the community, is really exciting.
So it's really exciting to see players already getting their hands on some of the early features, but do we want to talk more about the features that are coming in Season 20, Shelley?
Yeah, sure. So in Custom Seas, from the moment you start your session, you'll see so much control at your fingertips. When you load into that first lobby, you can decide what ships you want in there, how you want your players. If you want to put all 24 players on one ship, then go for it. You can set a set.
Okay, sorry, I got a nitpick here. No way are you showing this off publicly, as a demo with this many placeholder stickers. Actually put a placeholder, or mock-up. At least we know shit will change as you develop, but players deserve to see something close to how you envision this thing to look properly. Like even with Arena, they showed something that was far from what we actually got gameplay-wise, but showed what they were going for, and that was better than "oh yeah, placeholder, oh wait, more placeholder." Like, bro, what is this stuff meant to be? Showing off.
Of what we're calling switches, which are things that turn things on and off in the experience. So you
Bro, are you trying to get under my skin? Too many placeholders, like fuck, even use the arena team icons. If you had to, at least that would show something about how you want this to look. Cause I'm telling you now, maybe I can see the general concept. But that's cause I played round with custom servers, before 99% of players will find this just a mindless wall of text with a menu behind it.
might want no storms on or no AI on because you want a really friendly experience. You can set those kind of upfront controls, and there are a bunch of presets that we've made there as well for those. You can also decide whether or not you want to turn on a scoreboard and turn on competitive scoring, and then it's up to you to decide what sorts of things count and how much those things will award. So if you want to award 5 silver for killing somebody, or
Okay, as jank as this may look, at least they used the actual game internal tags for this, so at least we have an idea
10
what
silver
he are
for killing
turning
a
on and
skeleton.
off.
Like, you can make your own games and your own rules up that way. And then when you enter into the session, you've got all those controls at your fingertips to
Okay, so you can edit everything from permissions, to what you turn on and off in the world, to even traveling around. All good aspects to this.
be able to quick spawn any item that you want, any AI that you want. But you can also go into a deeper menu and be able to evoke any world event that you want. You could start a fort of fortune. You could spawn a kraken, spawn a meg. You can really curate the session how you want it. And you've got those controls to kind of move around the world, teleport wherever you want to. You can also move your ship really easily with a quick sail option. You can fly and look around the environment. You can use that lovely cinematic camera that Mike was talking about earlier. So it really is a wealth of things that you can do to just curate the experience your way.
And there's also legendary locations. So there's 4 legendary locations that are going to be available in custom seas. We've got the Sea Dogs Tavern, Return of the Sea.
Okay, based Sea Dogs, TDM, here we come.
Sea Dogs Tavern. You'll be able to go inside the Sea Dogs Tavern and create stories and gameplay in there. There's the Damned Sea Dogs Tavern. There's a twist on that, the one from the adventure. There's Tribute Peak. So Shores of Gold, being able to have adventures on the Shores of Gold. And then lastly, there's Old Sailor Isle. There's always been that feedback of the Maiden Voyage Island is so cool. I want to go there with my friends. You'll be able to do that in custom seas.
Our intent is also to build and supply additional legendary locations over time. One specifically that we're really excited to bring in is the Last Ship Standing map in the Sea of the Damned, right?
Seas of Sailor's Grave.
Yeah. The opportunity there to bring more legendary locations for players to be able to create some really cool experiences with.
Yeah, and we're quite excited by the idea of we've got Last Ship Standing as part of our live event calendar. We've got that coming back periodically for players to get involved in, but it always being available in custom seas so people can practice, get used to the gameplay, try out different techniques, and then take
May be fun to have them add that lava lake from the end of the third Money Island tall tale, and let us battle on that with ghost ships like we can in the boss fight.
that into the event when it's live again.
Does that mean the hot tub is back?
The hot tub is back.
Does.
Confirmed.
Needs a good deep clean, I think, but it's back.
So loads of exciting stuff on Horizon for Sea of Thieves, but what are you guys most excited about? Drew, I'll start with you.
I think I'm just excited to bring this great experience to everybody. Like we've been developing it for a long while, and we've always thought of it in that little world where it's behind a paywall, behind a subscription. And I think we've just released it, and it's going to go to all players. And I just can't wait to see the magic that they create for it.
How can I not say something for Custom C? So I'm really excited for the cinematic camera. I think being able to see the world that our players have been playing for so many years from new perspectives and being able to curate machinima and stories using that toy box of Custom Seeds is going to be so exciting. Like, some people will know who are listening in, but I was a huge fan of Red versus Blue. So like being able to create machinima in these game worlds, I think is so powerful. I'm excited for that. But can I have another one, please? I am also excited, just building back on the game health point. I think, obviously, we always say, Sea of Thieves is a unique experience, but there's lots of play.
Not that unique, there are other games that provide piracy and also have its community. If anything, SOT has been losing its identity over time. It just hasn't seen a direct online competitor yet, cause pirate games are often super risky for investors. Like the SOT community now isn't the fun one it used to have, and I blame the community managers for ruining it. Frankly, you want SOT to survive, sack them all, like no joke, get rid every last one and outsource it. We would be better off without them. Killing the one key aspect that kept the game alive for so long, cause they are single-handedly killing it, not the devs, but the community team. Bunch of narcissistic cry-baby clowns.
Players out there that are struggling with very long-standing bugs that we've had in the experience. I'm actually really looking forward to the game being more stable, being more of a solid platform for us to build upon. So I think that, I've never really said that before, but like, I passionately believe that game health and making the game we've already got as smoothly running and robust as possible is really important. And I am excited for that alongside Custom Seas.
And Shelley, what about you?
Spoken like a true lying shit.
Definitely Custom Seas related again for me. I'm just really looking forward to that moment where players create something that we never saw coming. Like, we saw it a lot in the early days of Sea of Thieves with some of our features, the way we make our features, and we've always had that tools not rules approach. So everything that we make in a way that, you know, players are going to do things that we never expected. Custom Seas is kind of the ultimate iteration of that. And I can't wait to see players do something that we think, oh, of all the things we thought they would do, we never saw this combination or this type of experience coming. That's what I'm really excited for.
Christina, how about you?
So I'm cheating and I'm going to say everything that everyone's already said. But I'm really excited to see just how exactly this unleashes our community's creativity. We're going to see things we've never anticipated possible be made a reality in Custom Seas, which is really exciting. But in the spirit of community creativity and unleashing it, there's something that we've been working on behind the scenes. It's a small but quite significant thing to folks who have already been creating around our game over the past however many years. For folks who are kind of making props, selling them, and trying to kind of explore effectively monetizing our game, I'm very pleased to announce that as of today, we have creator commercial usage guidelines. Historically, there's been some ambiguity for our creators on like what is and what isn't allowed when they're making and selling things using the Sea of Thieves IP. This provides absolute clarity and really empowers our creators to go make and sell, knowing kind of what our kind of framework and guidelines are for doing that safely. So it feels really good to be able to kind of be very clear on what those guidelines are. And for us,
Bro, what the fuck you mean? This wasn't something they had lined out since the start, bro, that's wild. Wait a minute, so you have the copyright to false strike a guy blowing raspberries in your game, but didn't cover people selling shit actually infringing your copyright?
as well, we
I
get to
mean,
go and
unless this
spotlight
is
those
like a
creators now. We might have
relaxation, perhaps. But yeah, that's wild if this is just now a thing they newly thought of.
shied away historically from kind of like shouting out amazing creators because they've got something on an Etsy shop that we're not sure if we could plug or not. But this gives us the framework to go spotlight those folks and push people towards their stores and allows us to shout about them. So yeah, we're really excited to see what people make. We always have been.
Bro, if you own the copyright, As far as I know, you literally can call the shots. How it gets used, it's why often even on YouTube, you can just ask for permission. You don't need to get like some contract to share someone's content or whatever, like they could have chosen to let people do it, as that's their right. Unless they are only gonna enforce copyright when it comes to blowing raspberries over the microphone to strangers.
And we want to see links. Send them to us, please.
So we've got lots to look forward to then. And I think that about does it for this Community Direct. If you want to get involved in the discussion, then please head over to our social channels and let us know what you think. And if you'd like to try new features early, like custom Cs, and have the chance to offer feedback, then make sure you sign up for the Sea of Thieves Insider programme. We'll be back later this summer with another Community Direct, where we'll let you know all about everything headed to the game in the second half of this year. So until then, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the seas.
Well, that happened, I guess. Okay, so in summary, sure, there are some really good changes they made to how they go about things, however, still lacking in many areas. Also, I can't help but think overall they kinda just lost all spine and are just kinda loosening that grasp on their game's possible revenue streams that would actually have been viable, which seems a little soon. Like the whole online servers a paywall kinda would make sense to make up for the cost of running main servers, and players also would have the paywall being a line of protection from crash attacks. Also, the whole thing about the branding, like, sure, it's nice, but given how they have acted in the past, this seems like them kinda acting like it's of no consequence to them. So yeah, can't help but feel like they are kinda in an odd spot. But yeah, I mean, better than nothing, I guess. Just I'd hoped that they would come in with some bigger level of self-awareness about community concerns, and have actual plans to present to put players at ease. But yeah, guess Rare has just changed. Also, yeah, I may have been a little negative in my opinions, but it's cause right now they need to actually be taking the state of the game serious, cause this is where the players are beginning to rout, and even content creators are worried about the future of the game, or even if there is one to talk about, even some who never usually say anything bad about the game. Like when you got basically whatabouts to a full-on desertion of the game by all but the most dedicated. That's when you would think the devs would develop like actual serious strategies and come out swinging. Nothing major, just okay, you said thing we will do this. You said other thing we will do this too. You complained about this is out game plan, but bits are being worked on, so we will let you know as it comes. All I saw there was hollow and just cope. It's law our game is fine, players are not all happy, but game is fine law. Like bro games closest to actually fucked it's ever been, and step one should be being blunt and saying yes we know, and we are taking action, on that we aren't just blindly walking to our doom. Like cause, frankly, part of why I said, just fire the community team, even was cause, what they did was pushed away the dedicated SOT community, told them basically, you aren't needed anymore, fuck you, bye. And the rest they often just banned, without clear and decisive red lines being outlined first, then now that the community they ushered into take over all quit. Well, then they started begging for them to all come back. But then for some stupid reason act like they didn't just ask the old community to come back, and don't realize this is why the game's dying. The community managers are being as ignorant as they always were and are now making them quit, and even the creators are seeing this cause rare, is just acting like they can just go on as normal and get away with all this. To put it bluntly, you asked the PvPers to save your game and said sorry. Stop trying to act like you still have that massive array of casuals who only do PvE, as they all quit now. All you have are the old players who play cause they love the game, and the PvP players who play cause they are good at the game. Time-limited events really don't help either group. But yeah, they need to just realize the players they are dealing with now want PvP and story, not time-limited short attention span kiddie stuff. Like Shaw, the community they tried to attract, who now quit Shaw, it was mostly Game Pass kids. But now you are dealing with actual pirate fans, who play SOT cause they love its world, probably played most Tall Tales, and did most PvP events. This whole 3-act shit rings hollow cause it lacks world building in the long term, and it's not always great for PvP players. Then for players without a vast amount of free time, it just screams, why bother, you will miss it anyways, so why try half-ass it? The reason the first year worked was cause we had a story beat, with a title update, a reason for the update existing like a catalyst event that kicks off the change, ushering in new features. Then the new features change the game from that moment onwards, and sure, if you were there you get the story, and playing the event you explore deeper into that story. While often it will encourage PvP, as players all want to try the new thing and experience the event. With limited time hollow events that spring out of nowhere, you miss all the aspects that made it work before. Like they used to be so good at weaving story into why new features were being added, not just oh yeah here's a feature, now here's a short-term event. Like the Megs are a thing cause hungering deep, and Merrick doing his thing to summon them to the seas. The Devil's Roar is their cause, a crew broke into new waters and the destruction of their ship parted the shroud. The Skeleton Fleet's got added cause, a blacksmith was messing with a new kind of cannonballs and got cursed herself. All this shit made sense, you didn't have to be there to enjoy the features. But if you were there and did the events, you got a lore reason for every little change. In other words, sure, the features are added and they try to make a story with them, but not in the right way, and it all feels very disconnected. Like Even Hourglass, it made sense. It was the escalation of the war that had been boiling away in the background for years. Like it's why these days I've been mostly jumping into games like Star Citizen, instead, cause that game feels a lot like how Sea of Thieves used to handle its world building, and its community kinda feels like the old SOT community used to do. And it's sad I no longer get that feeling from SOT despite being a massive piracy fan. This game feels more like Fortnite, just random new stuff, for the sake of new stuff, with no substance rather than fending off repetitive boredom. This is why, frankly, I am what you could call harsh any time I see the devs of this game fucking up like this and fumbling around like buffoons. They used to be masters of world building and making amazing content you could spend hours on, and the community kept things for weeks on end even. But now we are lucky if we get one update that sparks that effect. Like they used to master PvP and PvE aspects, it's why first-year players were able to seamlessly swap from one to the other or do PvE quests, then instantly pivot to fighting for that mission location. Now it's like, bro, who is the audience you are trying to please? Like take Festival of the Damned, even like it was simply lighting up lanterns, and you had to shoot yourself up to some of the harder ones to get at. And for the commendations, you needed to get all lights, and light up all the beacons in all parts of the map. So despite only adding minor real long-term content, until Fort of the Damned got added, making a use for the Flames players, turned that event into firstly a commendation challenge to get all done for the cosmetics. Then after that it became a literal conquest war type mini-game for players, as you had crews picking a flame and trying to light up every beacon with that color. And you had crews pitching up at islands determined not to have anyone else change it.